What's happening, everybody? This is Sylaidopoulos International, and we are back. We've got a lot of updates for you, a lot of news to talk today, and we have somebody that's new on the Sunday segment. Somebody some of you might recognize from Greek Wednesdays, or do you guys call it Niki Pempti? What do you guys call it? Just Greek Wednesdays?
Just normally Wednesdays.
Just
Last Wednesday, yeah. No. It's Thrilos Padu on Wednesdays, and I apologize for last Wednesday absence. It was matter of our business. Kostas and myself, we were away for our jobs, so it was a tricky part.
There you go. It happens. Yeah. You know what I mean? It happens. But guys, check that out on Wednesday. Especially we get a lot of Greek speakers in here. Check it out. It's a great show. They talk about a lot. And, you know, this is all fan based. This show is by fans for fans. So it's just more content for the rest of us to make it more accessible to everybody that follows this show, both inside of Greece and outside of Greece. So check it out, and you'll see more of Vangeli there. Happy to have him here with me on Sunday to talk about everything. And before we start talking about news, before we start talking about everything else, well, first, Vangeli, how are you doing, buddy?
Sweaty.
It's very hot.
Yeah,
it's very hot.
More specific for the Central Europe is insane. Today we had during the day approximately 35 degrees, but imagine when you're in the Central Europe and you don't have the sea close to you, it is a madness. At least we have great forest because Luxembourg is built in a fortress and we have forest and parks around, so it is manageable. But yeah, it keeps cool.
No, it's not bad at all.
That is like water.
Oh, yeah, fun. He thought you had frappe there, so I think it's a little too late for frappe.
I mean, it is 10:30 for frappe. Yeah, right.
Well, guys, before we start talking about everything we've got for you today, don't forget to like and subscribe. The page continues to grow. The channel grows in socials. We are less than 140 subscribers away from 7,000 on YouTube. Instagram is growing. We're, I think, about 100 follows away from 15,000 on Facebook. So every engagement here helps us find more red and white fans. It boosts us in the algorithm. So give us a like while you're here. It costs you nothing, but it means everything to us. And then don't forget to subscribe if you like what you hear. And then you can also join us on Patreon. We have a signing we're going to be talking about that is imminent. And that scouting report will be available on Patreon. The scouting reports come out for all the players that we bring in and sign. It's a very exciting player, a very interesting player as well for Mendilibar setup. So you can check out Patreon on patreon.com/Sylaidopoulos7 International. Check it out. There's 4 different tiers that you can support us with, and every dollar that you support us with goes right back into the show. We don't do this because we get paid. We do this because we love Olympiacos, and we want to make this by the fans for the fans. So let's talk about the transfer, Vangeli. Let's talk about the first order of business here. There was a midnight, almost midnight tweet from Nikos Kotsis, as he loves to do during the summer, about Lorenzo Scipioni, the defensive midfielder from Tigre in Argentina. There's been a lot of news about him, a lot going on. Difficult transfer, as they always are in Argentina. Many parties involved. I know Costa has mentioned that a couple of times, but it looks like he's going to be on his way to Greece soon. 4.5 million euros for 85% of the player's rights. Very similar to the Santiago Hezed deal, which we all know we ended up coming in and buying his whole rights, which I think it was Gazeta that said we ended up paying for the rest of his rights. And we paid a total, when it all was included, about 8 million. But very similar in that respect. What are your thoughts on Lorenzo Scipioni and the deal as well?
Honestly, haven't seen him enough. I just saw snippets of the video with activities on him, and I saw some highlights from the last match. He's very skilled, very technical for his age. He's confident, and he's also aggressive for the position he plays. He plays on 6. He's a player who can stop the counter attacks and structured attacks from the opposite team. I believe it is a great a new player we're going to add to our squad, and that gives me kind of sad feeling about Esse or Mouzakitis, mostly for Esse, because we need to have Greek players for the Champions League. So my feeling is Esse is gonna say goodbye to us after that transfer. So in terms of the amount we signed him, I believe, it would be better for the club to have all the percentage of the player under their responsibility, and not only 80 percentage. Because imagine if after 2-3 years he plays well, he performs well, and he just grow his name through Olympiacos. Olympiacos needs to have the validation from Tigre to sell him if the club receives an offer. So that might be risky and tricky for Olympiacos. But in the meantime, I can understand that they bought him for 80 percentage, and after 1 year, 2 years, Olympiacos can pay the rest of the amount directly to Tigre and have the 100% of the player ownership. But this usually is a tricky part with Argentinian clubs. As I remember, it was kind of similar approach with Bellucci, but I'm not sure if you remember.
I'll be honest with you, because I was very young when Bellucci happened. I don't remember all of the details, but I do know with Heze, because I also remember Carapapas told us on the live show that we did last summer. Anytime you deal with these Argentinian players, there's so many parties involved, and it was the same with Scipioni. I believe Nikolakopoulos even mentioned. I'm pretty sure it was Nikolakopoulos had mentioned that the most difficult part of this deal wasn't even Tigre. The amount and the rights were kind of like figured out, but it was the people involved on the player side that were making everything difficult between like, because you have to pay. It's all about players' rights in South America. All these different agents, family members will have rights to the players. You have to negotiate with all of them. Everybody has to get paid in order to get the deal done. So
it's like the Greek Sunday League.
Yeah.
It is exactly the same approach, but for the first division.
Right.
Really.
It's very difficult. And I remember Cordon was like a specialist there. He's part of why we got Santiago Eze. And, us still being able to do this business in Argentina is very important, because this is an important market. It's a difficult market, but you can get great players like this. I am almost done the scouting report for him. And I'll tell you guys one thing, if I can give one hint about the player before you guys see the scouting report. The aggression that you talked about, Vangeli, when I keep watching him play, I think about how aggressive Babis Costoulas was and why we fell in love with Babis Costoulas. And I see that this kid is just not afraid. The number of times people come into him, he's 20 years old, going up against a 30-year-old, 32-year-old veteran that's bigger than he is, and he doesn't care. He throws his whole body into it. He's not afraid to draw a foul. He's not afraid of a yellow. He goes in and he has a level of aggression that Santiago Eze doesn't have. Very interesting player.
I believe if he plays according to the graph, and please prepare it to give it live to the people who watch. I believe that guy might be a kind of strength and mindset of Guilherme, Esse, and Mouzakitis at the same time. I think that's my approach.
He does progress the ball into the final third a lot. Very important. And the Guilherme comparison, I think, is pretty good, because I don't think we've had a player like this as close to Guilherme as him, with the level of aggression, the technical ability, the ability to progress the ball forward so completely in the midfield, and for such a young kid. I think that's a very good comparison.
And Milivojevic was that guy.
Yes, Milivojevic as well.
So for the age we buy that guy, I believe if he plays well, if he settles well within the club, he will be sold next year's equal amount or something less with Costoulas. That's my feeling. Because I saw last game with Tigre where he scored also. The finishing was something very, very difficult. It is one touch and shoot.
Yeah, that the goal that he had for sure. But he does.
Yeah.
I will say this: I think so far in his career, I think that was the third goal in his entire career that he's had. I'm not necessarily expecting him to be a goal scorer, but he just gets a little bit of power into his shot. He takes a lot of shots from distance. Gets a little bit of power. Some of those, the accuracy is good. It's just the power is not so good.
We need long distance shots.
We do, because we don't have it. You don't spread deep. We can't spread defenses, or at least we couldn't last year. So I think that's going to be very important. Lakis Gavalas, is he going to be better than Stamenic? I don't think it'll take very much for somebody. It's I feel bad for Stamenic because I think he's a talented player. I just think he was not a good fit for this, like for Mendilibar. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. When I saw the move he did against Ike and he gave an assist. I don't remember exactly which game. I saw something and movement in the area from a player who is talented and skilled, but he didn't show that during the season.
Right.
Maybe is a very, very wrong fit for the mindset of Mendilibar's 11. Well, I don't believe Stamen is going to stay. Stamen is said already.
He's gone.
Bye. Okay, yeah. So, does he complement
Mouzakitis?
Yeah.
So I'll say this simply because I've gotten this question from two different people. So unless they're both Lakis Gavalas's burner accounts asking me that question, there's a couple people that have asked about fit with Mouzakitis. And the only thing I can say right now is I tried to put it in context with how Mendilibar plays, and I don't necessarily believe that Scipioni is going to be allowed to get as far advanced as he does for Tigre. Mendilibar doesn't let our center mids do that. Our center mids have to get the ball and distribute quickly. Remember, Olympiacos, even in Greece, if we look at touches per possession, is very low. Mendilibar in Europe, we had under 3 touches per possession. Under 3. Mm-hmm. We want the ball distributed quick. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad fit for Mouzakitis because, he makes runs into the same area as Mouzakitis does. I think that for Mendilibar, he will be held back more. And I don't think that will be an issue. Lakis Gavalas is killing me here. I understand what he's saying, but I got this from Stefanos Dries. Why are we letting him leave?
Yeah.
He might not be leaving, FYI. Information I got this morning.
What was that appeared? I mean, his contract is expired, so
it is expired. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it.
The club doesn't always work super fast, but I will say, I'll say this because I did get information this morning about it, and his contract did run out, his academy contract. They never signed him to a pro deal yet, but I was told that it's not necessarily they're letting him go for free, but there could be something in the works. But the player does want to play, so. But that's all we know. But it might not be necessarily that he's leaving. His contract is expired, but it's not that he's necessarily out yet. If we get more information, we'll share it. But that's the latest I have.
Okay, cool. So, do you have the screen from Scipioni with his
charts?
Yeah.
Let me find. Chart. I think the one that we shared on.
Because I don't have it to share it right now.
Here, I will. I can get Give me 1 second. I actually didn't put the bar chart in here, but I can put it from. Give me 1 second. I can get that. But while I'm pulling that up, there was another question from Laki. He wanted a box-to-box midfielder to go next to Mouzakitis. What do you think about that?
Who? I mean, I understand that, but who?
That was my question. And I don't. Here's the other thing. Do you think Mendilibar uses the deeper box-to-box midfielders? What happened to the last one that we had that was playing deeper? We moved him to the 10 for the press, Chiquinho. Mendy doesn't seem to like that.
If you remember what Kalogeropoulos had said, Mendy and also Tzolis, Tzoutzikas, Tarpetopoulos, Mendilibar plays the same type of game in every club he manages.
Yep.
So he needs direct press, direct ball movement, and as I believe, he thinks that in the position of a box-to-box player to play in the front line, it is much more efficient than playing in the traditional position of Chiquinho, let's say. So
Correct.
whatever we might say, whatever we might complain, we're not Mendilibar. We don't see the players in the trainings or to perform according to his demand. So, I mean, he's the master. He gave us the European trophy. I mean, we cannot complain on his tactics and his decisions. Sometimes it might be wrong, but at the end of the day, he knows better than anyone else the players he manages.
Right. And I think what we have to remember, and we can talk about this now before we start talking about the loan players and the other players we need. The fan base has to remember that what we like and what we sometimes want in a player is different than what Mendilibar wants. Every summer since Mendilibar has arrived, last summer and this summer, everybody wants the Fortunis, the Adipodens, like the 10, somebody on the wing, somebody that can do that type of creative movement. But Mendilibar doesn't want that. Mendilibar wants a hard worker that will run the touch lines up and back and play 30 crosses into the box. That's what he wants. For his midfielders, he wants players that are conservative to stop the counter, for the counter press, for the press trap. That's what he cares about. He doesn't care about a box-to-box midfielder. Our midfielders aren't even allowed to go inside the penalty area. So he wants midfielders that will take up space, present options, be there for the counter press, and be able to play the ball quickly when we get it for the counter. If the midfielder also happens to be talented while doing that work, great. But that for him is a surplus to requirements. He wants the player that's going to play in his role and nothing else. Here's the chart, by the way, for Lorenzo Scipioni, so that you guys can see. We had posted this on social media. We have some radar plots that will be in the scouting report, but this is what he looked like at Tigre, which is very impressive. He had some very impressive, especially the defensive-oriented data. This is exactly what Mendy wants. A type of player that will run, that can cover space. The only difference when you look at his data versus Santiago Heze, and that's something that we'll share on socials pretty soon in the future, you're going to see his defensive duels, the closer physical traits are a tier above where Heze was. But Heze was much better, higher level of interceptions, better intercepting the ball and anticipating. But this is what Mendy wants. And we're just happy that Scipioni is also a talented player and fulfills the role that Mendilibar wants.
Exactly. As I said, I believe it is a good player for us, and he will perform under Mendilibar better than he performs in Tigre. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
Yaya Toure was the absolute box-to-box, Pascali said. Well,
So
yeah.
Mahdi was box to box, but again, not a Mendilibar player
Exactly.
at all. And this is the problem. But then at the same time, what Mendilibar wants leads to this. Lakis Gavala says, I don't have a problem with the discipline, but with predictability. If everybody knows that the two mids are not a threat, then it's a problem. And he's not wrong. You know, what was Mendilibar's plan B when we were playing against the minnows of Greece? 60 crosses a game, 60 crosses in the box. And if you don't have a creative player that can figure out how to break open teams, you're just putting prayers in. And the frustration, especially before the winter when this was happening and we couldn't score, everybody was crying, oh, you know, then we don't have Fortunis, we don't have Pudence, we have no creativity. And that's where you get this grinya of the complaining about not having any creativity or ability to break open the locked defenses, because you need, unfortunately, whether you like it or not, we need those types of players to be able to do that, to break open those park buses, as we say. And it's difficult. There's a balance. There's a balance that's there. We have Remy Cabella. You know, we have Yusuf Yazici. I don't know exactly if he's going to be sticking around. Hopefully he does. But you hope now that if we bring in some creativity for Mendilibar, that we'll get that proper balance and the different looks that we need to break open some of those defenses.
Yazici, I don't believe he's going to stay.
I don't either.
Honestly. Yeah.
People hate when I say that too. I like the player, just to be clear. I like him as a player, but that's the profile just is not Mendilibar. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think Remy Cabella is either. I've said this for months, but I'm of the opinion that you have to force one or two of those players on Mendilibar, because I don't think he necessarily wants them. But I also don't think Mendilibar would choose to have Kostas Fortounis either, to be honest with you. Because he wants the hard work. That's what he wants. He wants the pressing and the running.
Fortounis, the first year of Mendilibar was totally different Fortounis, as we used to know. Different. He played very well. He pressed. He did all the dirty work, according to Mendilibar. He was perfect. And I believe that's why he left. He wanted just to cool down a little bit. Yep. He couldn't perform every year under that kind of pressure from Mendilibar, and that Ramos Stavridis from Mendilibar, because Mendilibar screams every time. So that's why I believe Fortounis is not gonna come back that year or next year. Only if he wants just to play hard and give all the efforts in the game. So I don't know what to say. Mendilibar is a very, very old school coach, and
very
well, I like it, man. I like it.
Me too.
Because tell me,
do you? There is a quote from Batman that I'm thinking of. Do you remember? I think it was Batman, the second one with Heath Ledger, when the Captain Gordon, or the guy that plays Captain Gordon, says he's this one, or he was saying that he's not the hero that we need, but he's the one we deserve. Does that make sense? And then vice versa with the lawyer. So, and the case with Mendilibar, sure, maybe he's not the coach we want, like the coach we believe we deserve, the Valverde, but he's the one we need, because his style of play is getting us more success as a club via the European title than anything else. He brought us back the double after a couple of seasons. So it's one of the, I look at it like that. In the area of football, total football, with Guardiola and tiki-taka and everything, he's a return back to old school that proves that you can go back to being, you don't have to have 800 passes a game to score one goal. You can be effective, you can be efficient. And I like
I
it.
will I will disagree in a part on it's not what I mean. Forget it. I have to say, Mendilibar is what we deserve, and it is exactly what we need as a club.
Yes.
And I will be explain myself on the details. Imagine Solid was a calm person with his notepad and his kind of consultants around him. Now Mendilibar stands up, screams, gives commands during the game. Even we win, even we score, even we lose. Every time he gives commands during the gameplay. So I believe we need that kind of mindset in the club. Olympiacos is very demanding. Valverde was demanding as well, but he wasn't that kind of master of the club, as far as
Right.
I understand. Mendilibar have the way to force his opinion and force his demand in a game.
Yeah. Because he's
And I believe,
older. He doesn't care. It's just you either do what I want or I leave. That's his that's his that's his mentality. It's just this is what I want. This
yes,
is what I
exactly.
need, and you can either go with it or not. It is what it is. He's a stubborn Basque manager, but you know what? That seems to work for us. So I'm not complaining. You keep having success, I do what you want. That's how I would look at it.
And speaking about Mendilibar, let's have a small parenthesis on what we say. Sylaidopoulos joined Rio Ave. I
Mhm.
believe Sylaidopoulos is getting seasoned to take the place of Mendilibar after
I believe
he
so.
wants to leave. That's why they put him in Rio Ave. I believe Olympiacos believes very much on Sylaidopoulos' skills and tactics and approach. That's why he was on the Mendilibar side. And I believe Sylaidopoulos will be the next big thing of the Greek football. That's my feeling.
I hope. I hope that's the case. I believe that too. I've believed for quite a while now that he's been going through the process, and him now taking over Rio Ave. He looks like he's going to get Papakanellos. He's going to get Papakanellos. He might get some of the other players that don't have a place at Olympiacos or might not be part of the B team. So I think he has success, man. If he can do something great with Rio Ave, go top 10 in Portugal this season, that's huge for a club like Rio Ave.
Imagine Sylaidopoulos was a coach of a team of young persons who didn't play in that much competitive leagues
Right?
like the opposites. Imagine Bayern München 11 was playing in Bundesliga. Same in every other club we faced. Those players were seasoned
Yep.
in those kind of demanding matches. And he won the youth league with those kids. That means he have the mindset and the way to lead the team and structure the team to succeed. I believe he's gonna succeed as well in Rio Ave, but we'll see.
We will. And we'll wish him nothing but the best.
Yes, the
And
best.
maybe since we were talking about Sylaidopoulos, he's going to be getting a couple of our loan players. We already talked about
Mhm.
Papakanellos. Andreas Doy is staying there. Nelson Abi is staying there. There's a possibility Angelo Sina could go back. We might see there's a couple of players. Theofanis Bakulas could end up back there. We don't know. He could be playing for the B team. So Olympiacos has 17 players that are this summer returning to Olympiacos, quote unquote. Sport 24 had a nice list of them, and a couple of them we already know exactly where it is that they're going. Pep BL, for example, is one of the first ones. Pep BL, we know he's staying at Charlotte until the rest of this season, until December for the MLS season. So he's staying there. I already said Doi. We have Yorgos Masouras, not part of Mendilibar's plans. Ever since Mendilibar came, Masouras' production completely changed. So looks like he might be going back to Germany. I would have thought that he might have been like one of the perfect pieces for Mendilibar, but because of the work rate. But he's going to be going back out. Kalogeropoulos coming in as center back. He'll be fifth choice, I believe. Hefte Betancourt is going to be in preseason. And then we have a series of other B team players or players that were coming up from the academy, like Kostas Costoulas. We have Doran Leidner, who's going back to Hapo Tel Aviv on loan with a buyout. Unfortunately, didn't do anything for us. Liatzos gone for free. We have Costoulas, who'll probably be on the B team, the former captain of the U19 when we won the youth league. The Atromidos kid, Athanasiou, he's going out on loan. Probably also
sure about Athanasiou, because I believe Kalogeropoulos and Athanasiou are going to stay in the squad.
I was told he's going on loan. Asteras or Rio Ave.
Okay.
Most likely.
I see.
Yeah. Unfortunate, in my opinion, but, I guess Mendilibar may not think he has what it takes for the overlapping, the consistent overlapping back and forth. I don't know, but that's what I was told.
I believe in those players, but we'll see. We'll see next weeks and next months with the new transfers and the new players coming in, coming out. We'll see. I mean, we are end of June. We have many things.
Yes, and people also have to remember, not every kid that comes out of the academy will be a hit for Olympiacos. Some of the kids might not work, and they're going to move on. We have 3 more wonder kids that are coming up now through the academy that just joined. Eric Hamza, we have Tassos Glavkou, and then we have Kolokotroni. Those guys are 16, 17 years old. And honestly, if we're lucky and if things work well, one of them will pan out for the first team. So I know everybody, I get lots of messages. How come we're not including Bakoulas? How come, what happened to Kosamanidis? What happened to Christos Liatzos? What happened to, there was the kid that just left the academy too. I'm already forgetting his name. A couple of days ago, they said we lost him. Talent. Anyway. And I'm not talking about Carlos Cami. I'm talking about, his name will come to me. But anyway, the point is, not everybody will turn out. If you can get 1 or 2 a year that can do something for you in the first team, that's a success. That is a success. A lot of these, most of the kids that are coming up through the academy probably will not feature for Olympiacos in a professional capacity on the first team. Some of them will. A lot of them will get moved on. That is just the reality.
Here comes Papakanellos' example. Man, right. It is sad to say, but Papakanellos, my taste, okay, doesn't fit for Olympiacos. He cannot play in Olympiacos. He needs to gain muscles to improve himself on tactic and to be more collaborative. You say he performs perfect in the youth team of national team of Greece and the second team of Olympiacos, because he competes with kids like him, but in the squad of adults where the game is tougher, he lacks of many important characteristics, like the characteristics Mouzakidis and Costoulas have. And you saw that after 1 year, Costoulas left Mouzakidis, rumored to join Spanish or Italian club. I don't believe he's going to join them, but let's not put it outside of our notepad, because if a club comes with an official proposal, 25 to 30 millions. I believe on 25 millions, Olympiacos is going to hold him.
Yeah. I think my opinion for Papakanellos is, and I think this move going to Rio Ave for Sylaidopoulos, who knows how to get the best out of him, is the best way for him to take the next step for professional football. But I also think under Mendilibar, I don't think he will have success, but as long as Mendilibar is here. Papakanellos doesn't want to do the pressing. Or at least to me, it didn't seem like he wanted to be doing that. He wants to get on the ball and dribble. For the youth team, everybody gives him the ball. He is one of our central points to get forward. That's what he wants, to get the ball, dribble at defenders. Mendilibar does not want that. He wants you running down the line, presenting yourself as an option, and you need to get rid of the ball quick.
Do you know many managers accept and want that? Only if you are Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi or Yamal.
These days, especially, yeah.
Yeah, you need to have something to do that.
Yes, exactly. And right now, now he's, especially, he can get pushed off the ball so easy. I think there's a talented player in there, but everybody kept asking me, like, Pneumonidis and Papakanellos this summer, who gets the spot? To me, it's clear. It's Pneumonidis. That's a kid that fits the system. Papakanellos does not. Even if I believe, which I do, that Papakanellos' his potential is higher, right now the fit isn't there. So, that's where I'm at with him. I think the kid is very talented. I just think when it comes to what Mendilibar wants, I don't think he has it. And if Mendilibar were to leave at some point and Sylaidopoulos were to come in, I believe a coach like Sylaidopoulos is more likely to get something out of Papakanellos than Mendilibar would. That's how I see the situation.
We'll see, because Portuguese championship is tough.
Yep. Very tough.
I live in a country where one of the biggest communities are Portuguese. We have Portuguese championship, yes.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Portuguese championship is played everywhere, and Greek as well, and French, and of course Premier League, because we are big communities. And I've seen many times when I'm in the pub drinking my Guinness, games of Portugal championship, and it is super tough. Yeah. And I don't believe he's gonna play in Portuguese championship as well.
We'll see.
Check how many Greek players played last year from Olympiacos or from the youth team played in the league, and how many matches? 5 matches for Bakoulas only.
Oh, for Bakoulas, yeah. Costoulas had 3. Costoulas
3.
I think had 3.
Costoulas 3. Who else? Doi, okay.
Brusai.
I mean, from the youth team to the champions, to the championship.
Yeah.
You see, it's very demanding.
Very demanding, yeah.
I prefer see those players playing in the second team, in Vita Ethniki, than in Portuguese league.
Ban this guy. Hector, listen, man. I am in the process of moving into my new house. I will shave when it's all done, which it should be this week finally. So that's why you get a little bit of the peach fuzz here. Sorry, bro. I'll do better for you next time. I actually like this comment from Nick23. Papakanellos should go to the Netherlands, or I don't know about Czech Republic, but I actually think Netherlands might be not a half bad move for him. We've had players go to Holland and do very well, learn football here a lot better. And like Tsimikas was one of them. Rusai was another one. It feels like when people go to Holland for us, they come back and they play smarter. Maybe that's something.
But Tsimikas and Rusai were more trained physically.
Also true. Yes, also true.
Man, if you are not trained in that kind of competition, you will be feather in the wind. Tsimikas left, went to Zwolle, and he came back like a tank. You remember that?
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
Denis
but the league,
Mucios here is
agree,
in
100%.
agreement.
Yeah, he's
So.
great player, but okay, Vlachodimos was great player. It's just an opinion.
The Greek Cristiano Ronaldo.
Exactly.
I remember him.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, now we're joking. Anyway,
Yes.
what else for Milla? I believe. I believe for all of the rumors we hear them for a reason.
Yeah.
Just people to read, click on the web pages, have traffic in the web pages. Web pages need to be paid due to the traffic for advertisements. So don't eat the bait. If we sign something, it is player. Maybe the media haven't seen his name.
Happens a lot more recently. Scipioni kind of came out of nowhere too.
Exactly. Olympiacos is doing that every time.
Exactly.
So,
Vageli, let me ask you a question before we move
yeah.
on from the Loanee subject and I want to talk about two of those names maybe that you're kind of hinting at there.
Mhm.
But for the loan players, only 2 of the 17 returning loanees, and of course some of them are younger players, B team players, U19s. Only 2 of them will feature for Olympiacos in the preseason. Kalogeropoulos and Hefte Bentancur, who may or may not be part of the team when the actual season starts. But so that's 2 of 17. How do you feel about that? And we talked about some of the names before. Ones I didn't mention are Ruben Vezo, not DB Kita. I think he's only 21 still. What do you make of that?
90% my feeling Betancourt will join Larissa as a free transfer because Larissa have that demand.
Yeah.
This is the first thing. And we will sign a center for. Second, about you said Apostolopoulos or Kalogeropoulos?
Kalogeropoulos.
Kalogeropoulos. I believe Kalogeropoulos will stay. Kalogeropoulos performed perfect in Volos for 2 years. And I think Kalogeropoulos will take the place of Ortega, and Ortega will leave. Or he will take the place of... I block my mind. Come on, the Portuguese name.
Are you talking about Onyemaechi?
No, the blonde one. Fuck. Come on.
Costinha? The right back?
Costinha, yes, Costinha. I believe Benfica will come back with a new offer around 10 to 12 millions, and Costinha is going to be sold to Benfica.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I would hate to lose Costinha. I like him a lot. I think Costinha is fantastic.
I'm telling you that because my neighbor is Benfica fan, and he told me 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
It is a rumor in Portugal that they are going to sign Costinha.
Oh, wow. So there, I don't think that one's made it even yet to anybody in Greece. Sporting, I know people were talking about Sporting with Costinha, but Benfica, that's a new one.
Benfica,
wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's very interesting. So you heard it here first. Stilos International exclusive. Benfica coming in for Costinha.
As you heard something in our Greek edition, I'm not gonna repeat it, but when it will be confirmed, we will post it.
There you go.
Something heard here, first time, if goes well. Anyway, yes, Stefane, no, it's not a terrible business for us. How much we bought him? How much?
We didn't pay. We didn't.
Do you
pay
remember?
Much for at all.
Zero.
Because he came. He's a Rio Ave. He's
exactly.
So
exactly.
And it was one of those things. So look, the normal business, right? We're not selling. Remember, this is the first transfer. The Costoulas transfer was the first one we did over 20 million. How much was Retsos in the end? 18, 19? Did it end up being with the bonuses?
About Costoulas?
I was
Or
Costoulas is 35 plus 2, but before
no.
that,
It's not +2. You miss a point. After 5 games, there are 3 millions.
yes.
After 10 games, there are another 3 millions.
Yes. And then the sell on.
It is 41.
Yes.
It's not just 35.
I meant because I know the 2 million is basically guaranteed. The 35 plus 2 is guaranteed. I know there's more. I was told there was more add-ons and the sell on, but the 35 plus 2 is what was almost guaranteed for this year.
I mean I don't believe that the +2 stands on the agreement. What I know is 3 plus 3.
3 plus 3.
Yes, 6 million before the end of the year if he plays minimum 10 matches.
Minimum 10 matches. That being said, before Costoulas, our biggest sale was Retsos.
Retsos, exactly.
Right. So, and my point was 10 to 12 million sale when we have never sold a player until now for more than 30 million. This is good business. We bought him for next to nothing and you're making 10, 12 million. This is good business, guys. And this is the way we can then go into the market. Look, we have Champions League this year, right? That's at least 30 million in total winnings, assuming we make it past into the knockout rounds. We sold Costoulas for 35 million plus add-ons and a sell-on. Then look at what we've done in the past. We made almost no sales last year.
Man, there are people who, I'm gonna be cynic, I don't care, zero fuck for them. There are people cry about, okay, they sell Costoulas for peanuts, man. And we might have sell him for 40, 50, 60 millions next year after the Champions League. No. Imagine we don't sell Costoulas. Okay, next year he underperforms. Something happened, an injury, something happened. See Ioannidis. Now Fiorentina came back for 10 millions and Panathinaikos rejects the offer and they says, okay, we speak on 30. You fucking serious? Really?
Remember Cisse? Remember Mari Camara?
I mean, no. Forget about them. Also, he's a guy who was convinced by the coach and the team, technical team from Brighton. Brighton traveled to Greece.
Yes.
Spoke with his family, explained them the approach and the plan for his development and the role in the club and the squad, and he convinced to go.
Right.
He wasn't pushed from the club to be sold. He was his decision as well, because we're speaking about 8 figures approximately.
Yes, 8 figures. You're right. Yeah.
In his bank account.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to retire as well. Even I'm not playing football. I mean, if I was 18, done. Anyway,
that's it, man. Yeah,
people think that Feelings and Olympiacos was in a situation and a position as a club like 20 years ago. We don't sell, or we sell maximum with 5 millions. No, football is just business, as sad or cynic that is heard by some people.
Yes.
End of story.
And our own history has told us, just, this comment here, you guys are talking about an old version of Olympiacos and the whole market. It's not that old. Don't you guys remember? We were just a couple of years ago. We held Mari Camara too long. Cisse, we had a tangible offer for 10 million. We wanted 15. What did we get for Cisse in the end?
We lost 30 million from those 2 players, including the add-ons. Can you imagine 30 millions in the club budget. More specific in years we didn't compete in Champions League.
Right. It's huge. And especially, and I know a lot of people hate when I bring this up, the rules are different. We can't spend as much money as we want. We can only spend 70% of what we make in revenues on wages, agency fees, salaries, or I already said salaries, amortized revenue. You need to make those sales to be able to bring the players to build this Champions League team. That's what it takes. And guys, July is 2 days away, or I guess for you, technically, if I get it, it's probably already, or it's June 30th, so it's a day away. Are you 7 hours ahead or 6 hours ahead?
29 today.
Yeah.
And in half an hour will be 30.
There you go. So we're not even in July yet, and our second signing is on the way. Sure, maybe we don't get the 4 signings before preseason that Mendilibar wants, but we are still 2 months away from the season. The club is being careful about who they sign. There's names. There's scouts looking at everybody. We have a network that's being leveraged. Everybody complained when we would sign 20, 2 years ago? We signed 20 players in a summer window. I did the scouting reports. I remember. And we're wondering, oh my God, how is this guy fitting? How is this guy fitting? We're being very careful about who we pick and choose. I get that it's not happening as fast as some people want it, but everything is being done more methodically. Look at how many people, I don't know if you remember how many people got upset last summer with the business that was done. And I think collectively everybody agrees, sure, some aspects didn't work, but the team as a whole, we had better depth in all areas of the pitch except for one.
You know what?
Patience.
People also believes that, okay, there is someone in the club who sells players, takes the money in his pocket, buying a ship fleet in Japan, naval building companies, whatever it's called. But you need to understand that companies doesn't work like that. I cannot be an owner of a company with a structure of a multinational company belonging to a group to sell the assets and put the money in my pocket. You cannot liquidify the money from the balance of the company direct to my pocket. Just keep that in your mind, whoever thinks about. I'm not a representative of Marinakis. I'm speaking on my experience on the sector I work for. So whoever says Marinakis sells just to have revenues and money, that amount of money, as Aris explained, 70% goes to spending in the club and the rest must remain on the club balance. If you want, do your due diligence. We have free internet, free AI. Ask how a company works and performs, and you will see by yourself. You don't need me to explain you things. You're a grown man.
And the club isn't making money. Even this year, after trimming so many players, cutting so many salaries, there was a capital loss of, I think, over 2 seasons, 43 million. And Marinakis is putting in the share capital increase, 21 million. Now, the loss wasn't as bad as last year or the year before, but we still have losses. The club doesn't make profit. The club's been in losses for years. You don't make money in football. I spoke to a club executive in Greece, and he said, you can't make money in football. You don't make money. It's influence that football gives you.
Exactly.
Influence and power. You don't make money in football. That is the situation.
You make money as a company, as a club, not as an individual,
right?
With trophies.
Yes.
Imagine you compete in Premier League. How many millions you have if you finish on the top 10? Let's say
160 million.
Okay, how many millions Olympiacos or the champion of Greece is taking from the organization of Super League as a winner? How many millions the clubs are
I think it's not
taking
much.
from the TV rights, sponsors, jerseys?
Oh, that's 18 million. We're in the final year of the Cosmote deal. It's 18 million a year. We have the
In
biggest deal in
comparison.
Greece.
Yeah, because we won Europa Conference. Next year, Europa. No, man. I work for a bank.
Look, Adis, we focus a lot on, and again, I get yelled at all the time for it because I like to focus on how things actually work. I did a whole video about how clubs will amortize contracts and transfer fees so that people could understand how the books work. Because we have probably our fan base, I'm betting you like 70%, maybe even 80% of them think, okay, you buy this player, you bought him for 8 million. You sold him 2 years later for 7 million. You lost €1 million. You lost a million. And that's not how it's looked at in the club's books. Or we bought this player 8 million. We paid him a wage and we sold him for 25 million. We made all of this profit on the player in general. It doesn't work that way. The way the books work in football are completely different. And until people understand that, everyone's always going to complain that Marinaki doesn't spend enough money on the club, or that we don't spend enough. There was a point also that I want to address here too from Stefanos, our good friend and patron. He says, I think you guys are missing the point. Of course, you sell Costoulas for 35 million. We already have players who can step in, good ones. But a right back, we would need an instant replacement. He's referring to the Costinha case. I don't care who leaves. I worry about who comes in. Now, this is a different conversation, right?
Yeah,
we talked about the business conversation, and then the conversation of the replacement's another one. So yes, in that I agree with you, and I don't think the club is going to sell Costinha if they don't have an idea of who they want. Not how we've been doing business the last 2 years. I don't think that's happening. We don't have to sell Costinha. So we're going to demand a higher fee because we can. We're in a better bargaining position. It's very nuanced, and we have the bargaining power. We don't need to sell him. We don't care. We'd like to keep the player. We want to keep the player. But guess what? If you want him, you better pay out the nose for him because we want him more. We know that we're going to get a certain amount of money from the Champions League. Hopefully we make it to the knockouts. But if somebody's only giving you 5, 7, 8 million, there's no reason, because him being there, you can get more money if he takes you further into the Champions League. So this is a good position to be in. And 12 million, if we make 12 million off a sale, we can find a pretty good replacement. I know the club hasn't been very good about replacing fullbacks, but I doubt they would just go into that and say, "Oh, we're screwed. Now we got to find one." I don't think they would do that.
Also, I believe on the replacements. Mendilibar that year is very, very active and involved on the transfer talks, approaches, and explaining the plan to the potential targets of the club. I don't believe he's stupid, and we are the masterminds to tell him or fight on the potential new players, or who's going to stay on the squad from the youth team, from the loans. He knows very well what he's doing and what he needs.
And he's earned that. He's earned the right and the ability to ask for those players. So I'm sure if we were to sell Costinha, Mendilibar would say, "Fine, I want this." Most of the players that were involved in, he wants. Scipioni, Mendilibar wants him. He was interested. Milla is one that he requested.
Yeah,
and we'll get into him later. But
and Vicente as well.
And Vicente,
he requested those players.
You know, he has players that he wants. He knows what he wants in his system. Unfortunately, it's frustrating because we would like to see in many cases other players or maybe more Greeks, but it is what it is. He knows what he likes. He knows what he wants for his system.
I believe Hill is gonna join the club later, not now, if he's still relevant for Mendilibar's needs.
You know, I think something that we need to a reality check we have to give the fans is the fact is, and Antonio Cordon said this too. The best deals happen in August, and unfortunately, I don't see us bringing that quote unquote top winger until August, because teams right now, especially this point in the summer, not many feel pressure, so they're not going to bend on what they want. As things get closer to the end of the window, that's when opportunities can happen. I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying this is how it is. So
Speaking about winger, I don't believe Saint-Maximin is gonna join the club. He's a player who
I believe you.
underperformed for 2 years. Do you believe he's gonna return to Europe and perform just to see Olympiacos as a next step for his career? After he filled his pocket with 9-10 millions per year in 24, is he 24? As I
I
remember,
believe it was 26.
26, whatever. How many people have you seen after 2 years underperforming in Saudi Arabia and in Turkey came to Greece and Olympiacos and play? Nope. Sorry.
Nope. And it's just, it doesn't make sense. It's the money too. He makes 7 million euros a year. Even if he reduces his wage 50%, I put this on socials just so everybody could grasp it in their head, because everybody keeps talking from this quote unquote English source about Saint-Maximin. And I'm not saying that the talks aren't real. The discussion over Saint-Maximin is real, but the reality is I don't believe we can get him. This guy has to reduce even if he's reducing 50%, that's 3.5 million a year. Does anybody know how much our highest paid player gets paid? Our highest paid player is Ayoub El-Kabi.
3.2 including bonus.
Including bonus. Yes, including bonus. Correct. Yes. That is El-Kabi. And El-Kabi has earned every cent of that contract. He had over 30 goal contributions this year again, and he was injured for such a huge part of the
60
season.
goals for 2 years.
He's earned that contract. Are you going to give some guy also the injury history of Saint-Maximin? You're going to give him that money? You're going to give him more than that? No. And remember also what Garapapas told us over the last summer. You worry about the locker room. You bring in Saint-Maximin and you're paying him more than your highest paid player at Olympiacos already. There's an expectation, and that could create grumbles also within the locker room. I'll be honest. I think he's a talented player. I do not like that transfer for that money personally.
Me neither.
If we're going to spend money, I want other things.
Man, we have to be smart. I mean, and I believe Mendilibar and the club representatives are smart enough to know what they're gonna release as rumors to the news and media to keep the demand high. Saint-Maximin is a player of national team of France with a great career before he joined Saudi Arabia. So he's a player of people like the people who just clicks and reads and buys every day newspaper wants to hear. So yeah, he said Fenerbahce was the worst choice of his life. He's thirsty for Europe, and some new reports came in of him willing to lower his wages. Those kind of reports is a Twitter X profile which is very close to him. I don't know if he's his representative or somebody from his close circle, but I mean, don't believe what is written.
The
I mean,
accounts Revolut comes up as a Greek guy, by the way. If
yeah,
you click the Revolut link, just saying.
yeah,
Just anyway, the whole point behind this is even if he reduces his wages like he asks, a 50% reduction is still too expensive for Olympiacos. Like that if I get it, that would be like you telling me, hey man, I have a Ferrari. And guess what? I'm gonna give you 50% off my Ferrari if you want it. I still can't afford it if it's 50% off. It's still too expensive for me. It's that's the consideration. And anyway, there's players I'd rather spend that money for. Like you're telling me, if you tell me we're spending 8-9 million on Borja Sainz and we're going to pay him 3 million, I will take that. Brian Heel, I will take that. Like there's players I am willing to offer that money for. Saint-Maximin, I'm not with the injury history, regardless of whether he thought Fenerbahce was a mistake. This is a Marcelo type of problem
exactly,
I can see waiting to happen. That's how I look at it.
exactly. Well, speaking about transfers and rumors, why we don't check Balkans and German divisions? Bundesliga 2 is
We've
full
done
of.
the Balkan thing though.
No, we haven't, and I will explain you.
Doesn't Brinic count?
No. Wait. PAOK is focused on Balkans. Check how many players
Oh yeah, of course.
he brought from Balkans. They have set up their own network in the Balkans, mostly, and Eastern Europe. Olympiacos is on Spain, Portugal, and Latin America, and in some Africa areas. So, in comparison, signatures from the network of Balkans, if we had them in Olympiacos, those players might have performed better than they performed in PAOK, and vice versa. And I have the question on why we don't take a look on Balkans. There are players who want to prove things. They want to grow and they have the willingness. Okay, they might have not that mindset like, okay, core Serbian or Croatian guy might be a little bit more sensitive in terms of anger, but that's it. You have players who want to prove things. They want to play. They just not want to see Olympiacos as a club to take the money mostly and then join other clubs.
Here, I think we do have a network in the Balkans. I just don't think it's good because we signed Stamenic, we signed Christopher Velde, we signed Ivan Brinic, we signed
Stamenic is not Balkan.
He's Eastern Europe.
New Zealand.
Yeah, but we got him from Serbia. He was from Red Star.
Stamenic, no, he was in Nottingham Forest, as I believe.
Yeah, I mean they purchased him and then loaned him directly to us.
Yeah,
but I mean what I think, I guess my opinion on that is that I think we do, because we've signed players from the Balkans before. It's just I don't think we've done well. Maybe we don't have the right scouting network there or the right connections. I just think the players we've signed haven't been as effective as maybe the ones that PAOK have signed, if that makes sense. Like, they went and picked up Despodov. They got oh my God, their winger, Jesus Christ, Zivkovic. You know what I mean? Like versus, we get ones that are less impactful.
Well, Stathi, I don't agree 100%.
Stathi, for the audio listeners, Stathi says the Balkans currently are not having a good level of football education. Yeah, maybe only Croatia, but only I don't necessarily agree with that either. There's plenty of good finds.
Yeah, and from Croatia they sell very expensive to the big clubs. I mean, now Dinamo sold the player about 25 millions.
This is a comment about Willian, because we brought up Willian from Chris_Oli7. Willian's contract was almost 5 million with bonuses, so stop this thing. We can't give big contracts because other players are going to complain. Saint-Maximin is perfect for us. No, Willian's contract was not 5 million. It was 4 million gross. 4 million gross.
Exactly.
Which means in Greece net, it was probably, what are taxes in Greece? Is it 40%?
Depends on the scale. I'm away from Greece for many years, but it takes place in scale. You have 24 up to 30,000, and
okay.
After it goes,
it's progressive.
45%. Dimitri says. I don't know.
45%. It was because it was 4 million. It was 4 million gross. So that means his net was. My math's terrible. So his net was close to 3 million net,
including the jerseys value. He had percentage on jerseys.
Right.
Sales. So
yeah.
Anyway, we cannot pay more, and it's not fair to pay more for somebody who, at the end of the day, I don't believe he deserves that kind of money. Because why? He's Saint-Maximin. We have El Kabi, who scored 60 goals, gave us a Euro Cup. So it is unfair for him at the end of the day.
Here we go. Lucky's got us 22% for pro athletes. Special. I thought there was a special tax, but anyway, the point is, and let's not forget, we spent nothing to get Willian. He was free. He was a free transfer. Saint-Maximin's not a free transfer unless Al Ahly decide they want to just cut his contract. So that's another thing. Like there's money that has to go to this guy. I know some people value Saint-Maximin. I do not. I don't think I think he would be one of the best players in Greece, but I have other worries. His injury history, all of that. Anyway, that's we've talked about Saint-Maximin probably way too much, more than he deserves at this point. But there's also the other name that was up on there was Luis Milla, who's the other transfer target that we're talking about bringing in for the midfield role. And Getafe, he's 30 years old. And the latest report was that Getafe they would reduce their ask to 4 million for a 30-year-old. How do you feel about spending 4 million for a 30-year-old player and a midfielder?
Spend that money for other players. No result value. He joined us for 2 years, 3 years. He's going 33. He's gonna leave with 500,000 if he leaves.
Yep. And that's not the move. I would have loved Zafeiris. I would rather us. If you tell me we're spending 8 million on Zafeiris, I'm okay with that. I would have been all right with that. Even though I don't necessarily believe the player is worth 8 to 10 million, but I would be more. I would be more comfortable.
Zafeiris is a very talented player, and he deserves every.
I like him.
Yeah, every Euro Slavia demands, honestly. And Zafeiris wants to join Olympiacos. He have spoke with Mendilibar, but Slavia president released a statement. Yeah, that we are gonna have a new offer, a new contract with Zafeiris, and he's gonna stay with Slavia. But at the end of the day, we need Greek players and good Greek players. And if we speak about Greek players, I would like to spend money on Tzolis if Betancourt leaves.
You think we would do that? Do you believe Tzolis would want to come to Olympiacos?
Tzolis wanted to come to Olympiacos before he joined. No, before he joined Genk, when he was in Norwich.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh. I would have thought he wanted to stay in England. That I didn't hear.
No. Because it was very bad transfer for him as well.
Oh, Norwich was and he was scapegoated there. If I'm being honest, so. But there's no way. I doubt we could afford Tzolis now. Not with how everything. I would like to see him here. I think he'd be
I
a
mean,
nice player to have.
maybe Forest can afford him. Who knows? I mean,
I believe there will be
don't
one
forget
player that comes from Forest. We're gonna get one signing from Forest. I believe it.
Who?
Borja Science is going quiet.
No clue. No clue from the people I know. I mean,
there's no. It's the player that comes from Forest won't be one that's there now. It's going to be one they buy and send to us.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be if they can get Borja Science to come through. I think that might be it. But there's no players that they have there now. I don't think there's anybody. I know Jota Silva, but his agent will not let him come to Greece. He's going to make him stay and fight in England. Jota Silva was one in the past, and that we thought about. But they don't have any really other assets that could come to us that we would want. Not that I can think of. Sosa, I thought about Ramon Sosa, but he's now off back to Brazil.
We have only if he wants as well, because he's a great player for me, and I was jealous when he played in Fiorentina. Milinkovic. Man, if we sell Pirola, because let's hear another one rumor coming from the piazza of journalists in Greece. Maybe Milan is gonna approach Olympiacos for Pirola for 20 million. Maybe not. Okay, it's a rumor. So that being said, Milinkovic played for Champions League. For me, might was a great transfer for us. Anyway,
that would have been. I hope we can hold on to Pirola. Pirola was one of my big surprises this year. I really loved what we saw from him.
Have you seen him in under 21 championship?
I only watched the one game.
Perfect. He played perfect.
He's so good. I can't believe. I still don't. I can't believe that we got him from Salernitana and there wasn't another top club that wanted him. It was like, what a great value buy. I still can't believe that we couldn't get him. I like the other Italian that we were linked with too. The other center back. What was his name? Oh my God. 3 weeks ago. We were linked with it 3 weeks ago. It'll come to me eventually. But man, what a find he was. The scouting team is doing some great work. They're finding some great players.
Yeah. I don't remember the name from the guy we signed. He came from a big team of Europe. A Greek guy. He joined our scouting team. I don't remember his name. But
Christos Akas.
Akas, yes, exactly. He was in which team?
Feyenoord,
yeah.
After he left PAOK, he went to Feyenoord. He made them so much money. He found the left back that Brighton bought last summer. He bought him for 500K and then sold him for 35 million to Brighton. Just legendary. Christos Akas is a legend.
And he have a great network.
Very great network.
Yeah, I believe he's gonna lead new signatures as well, new talents for Olympiacos. From Italy League 2, Sparos says no.
I believe center back.
No, about Pirola. No.
Oh,
he was in the first division.
Well, when we bought him, technically it was after Salernitana got relegated.
Yeah,
so he's not wrong. Not wrong at all. So, anyway, a lot of great stuff going on, guys. There's so much activity happening by the club. There's a lot. I understand that there's a lot of frustration about players coming in. You know, Mendilibar wanted 4 signings besides Remy Cabella before the July preseason. I never believed that was going to happen. I thought we would get maybe 1 or 2, go to preseason with the kids, and then see what happens. If we're able to bring in at least 1 more winger and maybe a center back before preseason, I think that's a big win. I never expected us to do like big business, spend big money before August comes when the best deals are around.
As also,
I
don't
don't see it
forget
happen.
that we will have 2 Preseason meetups. One starts in 10 days, I don't remember, in
Yeah,
Netherlands.
in Holland. Yeah.
Yes, and we go back and we return to Holland in the same training center, just to give more friendlies and have a second stage of Preseason preparations. So I believe in the second stage we might we might have the core of the team and of the squad as well. So
Yeah. I think Chris has this right here. I think we'll probably have at least 2 signings in August. I just don't see it's
yeah,
not. Has this club ever not made signings in August? No. Most of our signings come in August, at least from
and
my memory.
and also
Yes, there's
last
usually
day.
1 or 2.
I grow up hearing Sport FM. I mean, the last day
The news.
transfer news, whatever it's called, and waiting for the last minute in Kalogeropoulos pick up the phone and says, "Okay, we signed that player."
Yeah.
Every year.
I can only remember 1 year where we did not make a signing on like the last day or 2, and I just remember seeing, Olympiacos,
There is
and I
it.
remember. There
Exactly.
you go.
But Ideye, what a player. 3 legs, 2 hands. Easy.
Didn't we sign last winter, or not this past winter, the winter before Mendilibar came? Didn't we sign Ruben Vezo and Cabral
Yes.
in the winter window, the deadline night?
Yeah.
God. I remember that. Oliveira wasn't deadline. He was free agent.
Such a disappointment, really.
Fit.
Really.
He's a good player. I believe he's a good player. Is the fit. He was never going to fit with Mendilibar.
Nah, man. Look, I believed also that he's a good player. But according to what he's shown to us last 4 years, he's a 0. He did nothing. He played how many matches? He did nothing.
He did nothing.
One thing he did, one good free kick. Nothing else.
It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. I'm hoping, since we don't need as many signings this year, that the few signings that we get hopefully will be of higher quality. I'm choosing to believe that.
I hope so. But here's the thing, because nobody of us watches Primera every weekend.
Right.
We don't know what are the kind of players playing in Getafe, in Alaves, in Betis, in every other club except Barcelona, Atletico, or Real Madrid.
Right.
We don't know the quality of those players. We heard about Milla. Who is Milla? But at the end of the day, Mendilibar knows who is Milla.
They're MVP.
But
Getafe's MVP.
Yes, and that means players compete in a club like Getafe, like Alaves, against those giants. They can play as well in Olympiacos.
Yep.
That's my feeling. Anyway, what else we have? I'm just reading the comments.
Just about everything, Vangeli. So unless you see a couple of comments you find interesting, we've been at this for almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think we covered all the aspects for that week.
Yep. And of course, guys, we keep up to date with all of the news on socials as well. Vangeli, are you and Costa planning on doing Greek Wednesday again?
If everything goes well, yes. Maybe. Well, I'm trying just to bring people, and Costa tries to bring people to discuss with us but we'll keep it as a surprise.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that on Wednesday. It's a great show, guys, again. So check it. Look out for that on Wednesday. If you see the link, don't forget to join and come in and chat. It's a very, very, very good segment. The scouting report for Scipioni is going to be coming out. I should finish that tonight. Whether or not I'll be able to record it tonight is a different story, but the scouting report will be done tonight for sure. And don't forget, guys, go on Instagram. We have the giveaway for the 100-year Centennial jersey in collaboration with Classic Football Shirts. So check that out. That will be going until, I believe it's July 14th. So you have until then to enter to win, for a chance to win the 100-year Centennial jersey. So check that out. For those of you that are still tuning in, don't forget to like and subscribe. And it's help us continue to grow the red and white community, guys. It's a lot of stuff going on. We're growing. A lot of great stuff's happening. It's a great time to be an Olympiacos fan. And I really think also with Champions League here, I think things are going to be massive. Just the context from the Conference League win to this year, I really think this Champions League campaign will be something special. I really do.
And also, last thing for me, from the people who watch us from Facebook or from X, try to join through YouTube and give us the like. That help us with the algorithm and just the visibility of our channel on what we do. As we said, we are not professionals. We do that because of our passion for Olympiacos. So at the end of the day, what remain with us is just the visibility of our channel and how we can make it bigger and bigger. So just join from YouTube, give us a like, and increase our visibility.
Absolutely. And for the guys that are on X right now, because there's over 200 of you that are listening to us just from X, it's hard for you to engage with us. For some reason, between the platforms, it's very difficult for X to engage with the live streams. So, and that doesn't count. None of the X viewers, the X engagements count towards anything related to YouTube or the live stream. So you get more from joining YouTube and watching us on YouTube than you do from X. We appreciate the support either way, but we're just letting you know it's easier. That's unfortunately just how it is. So, with X, it's difficult to engage, but if you join YouTube and you join directly, even from Facebook, it's easier for you to engage, stay updated with all the great stuff that goes on. So, consider making a YouTube if you don't have one, and joining us here because it's much easier for you to get involved and see what's going on. But that's all I have for today. That's Vageli. Do you have anything else before we go ahead and close up?
Nope, I'm totally fine.
Fantastic. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Nice chat for the transfer summer. Be patient. That's really one of the big things we're trying to tell everybody. Have some patience. Let's wait and see what the business is, and then we will comment and critique on the business that's done when it's done. We talked about this. We take the transfers in their totality, and we talk about the transfers when they're done. So just have some patience. Let's see what the club does, and then we will, at the end of the window, we'll all collectively look at it and give feedback on that following. So try to have some patience, guys. Don't let this ruin your day or your week. Don't get super stressed about the transfer summer. Just try to enjoy the hope that transfer summer brings to Olympiacos. I'm Adi. This is Vageli. We're Thedos International. By the fans, for the fans. And we will see you guys next time.